Will MJF finally win the big one at Full Gear? Hello everyone, it's NLW Figs here, back again with another video. Today, going to be giving you my rundown and predictions of AEW Full Gear 2022 for this Saturday. Now, I haven't been watching the AEW product as much as of late as I would have liked to. That's just because I don't think that the product has been as strong as it's been over the past couple of months. It is, however, proven that AEW can still pull out an outstanding card of wrestling for pay-per-view, and this one should be no exception. There's some really fun matches on this card, and we'll go in and predict each one of them. But before I do, make sure you like the video and subscribe, as it helps the channel a lot, and also comment down below what are your predictions for Full Gear this Saturday. So we'll start off with the TNT Championship match. Wardlow defends against Samoa Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs. Of course, Samoa Joe recently turning heel on Wardlow, and Powerhouse Hobbs in there as well. Should be a really fun mix of wrestlers, and this is what I would like to see more of in the TNT division. I would like to see these kind of powerhouse wrestlers battling it out, because you know, under Cody, when he was the TNT champion, the title was shown a lot of love. It's been dipped a little bit recently with Wardlow as the champion, but that's not Wardlow's fault at all. I do see Wardlow retaining here. I don't think that Powerhouse Hobbs or Samoa Joe are going to win it off him just yet, but it would be interesting to see where Samoa Joe and Wardlow's rivalry continues after this. Perhaps they will face each other for the television title at ROH Final Battle later in the year, which would be exciting, but I am predicting Wardlow to win this matchup. Next up, Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal take on Sting and Darby Allin. I did not think I would be saying that in 2022, but it is what it is. Jeff Jarrett and Sting on a pay-per-view in 2022, still pretty cool. You know what? I'll say it. I'm glad that Jeff Jarrett is signed with AEW and is doing a match for them. I think it's really cool. This matchup should be fun. It should be gimmicky. I don't expect a 5-star classic or anything like that, but we have seen it's proven that Jarrett can still deliver somewhat in the ring, as well as Sting, I should say. And Darby and Jay Lethal, I'm sure they can carry the weight of it if they need to. I'm predicting, though, that Sting and Darby will win this one. I don't really see Jeff Jarrett getting a victory here, although maybe they want to push Jay Lethal further. I'm not too sure, but I would predict that Sting and Darby will win this one. But yeah, I'm hoping for more substantial storylines for Darby Allin moving forward, because I feel like he's been stuck in somewhat of a rut for this year, and it would be nice to see him kind of be elevated after this matchup. Next up, for the AEW TBS title, Jade Cargill defends against Nyla Rose. Now, you know, Cargill obviously divides opinion. I think she's got a great look. I think she's a great character. I think she's going to win here, but I don't know who is left really to beat after Nyla Rose. I'm sure there's loads of people in the women's division that could potentially challenge Jade, but I don't see anyone particularly standing out to beat her yet, because I would have said Athena, but Athena's already been beaten by Jade Cargill, I should say. So I don't think Nyla will win this matchup. I do think that Cargill will continue her reign, and I'll be interested to see where she goes from here. Next up, a singles match between Dr. Britt Baker and the returning Saraya. Yes, Saraya is back, formerly known as Paige in WWE. I've caught a bit of her stuff in AEW. Not a massive fan of her promo work, but again, we'll have to wait and see what she does in the ring. You know, again, she's someone who kind of divides opinion. I think Britt Baker is a great character in her own right, but it's good that the women's division is finally getting some non-title feuds here, and it's nice to see Saraya back in the ring. I was a massive fan of her work in WWE, so this should be fun. I would predict that Saraya will win, just because it's her first match back, and it'll be a bit of a whimper to have her lose this one, but you know what, I could be proven wrong, but I will predict Saraya to win this matchup. Inside of a solid steel cage, it's Luchasaurus versus Jungle Boy Jack Perry. I'm still sad that the Jurassic Express have broken up. I know I may be in the minority on this one, but I feel like they had something left really as a team. I would have liked to have Jungle Boy go on the singles run but still be associated with Luchasaurus, you know, but it is what it is. In this one, I think that Jack Perry will get his win back over Luchasaurus in the steel cage. I think that Jungle Boy has shown a lot of improvement since his feud with Christian, you know, promo-wise and in-ring-wise. There's a lot more meat to his character, and now going forward, being Jack Perry as opposed to just Jungle Boy, I think it'll be good for him. I don't know how Luchasaurus will lose this one, but I do think that Jack Perry needs this win, and hopefully he gets it. But steel cage match on pay-per-view between the two of them sounds pretty fun. Next to the AEW World Tag Team Championships, the Acclaimed defend against Swerve in Our Glory. That's Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. I did see the Captain Insano music video where they dissed Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. I thought it was a nice touch from the Acclaimed. And the Acclaimed, yeah, they're one of the most overacting AEW right now, and it's great to see. I want to see them have a very lengthy tag team run as the champions, so I think they will win this one. It's whether or not Swerve Strickland turns on Keith Lee after this matchup. Obviously Swerve playing up the heel role, Keith Lee more of a tweener, so we'll see what happens. I will predict that Swerve will split off from Keith Lee at some point, but you know what, maybe they'll just have Keith Lee go full-blown heel and join Swerve, and maybe they'll win the titles back, but I think that would be the wrong move. I think that you've got to give the Acclaimed their due process and have them be the champions for a long time, and really build them up as a team, because they're doing some great work with Billy Gunn with their raps and their diss tracks. I think it's great stuff all around. Everyone loves the Acclaimed. What can I say? AEW World Eliminator Tournament Final, where the winner will get a world title match at Winter is Coming. So we know Ethan Page is in it, but we don't know who the person he's facing is going to be, because there's still got to be a match on Rampage, I believe. So you got Lance Archer against Ricky Starks, and the winner of that is supposed to face Brian Cage. It all feels a bit convoluted and a bit confusing. So I do think that Starks will win and maybe beat Brian Cage as well, but I think he'll fall short to Ethan Page, which, I don't know, maybe it looks, Ricky Starks look a little bit weak, that he has to go through all this and then finally lose at the end. It's a bit anticlimactic in my view, but I do think that Ethan Page will win this because of the links with MJF and the fact that I believe MJF will win. Spoiler alert for later, but with the firm and Ethan Page's relationship with them, whatever happens, I think that could be an interesting way to go with Ethan Page versus MJF down the line, or even, if they decide to do it against Jon Moxley. But I don't think that's going to happen. But I do think that Ethan Page will win this one. But yeah, it's just a question of who he faces and when he faces them, really. Next up, interim women's title on the line, Toni Storm and Jamie Hayter. I would love to see Jamie Hayter win, man. I think she's great. Finally, she's getting something to sink her teeth into that's away from Britt Baker's stuff. I really think they should have pulled the trigger on Jamie Hayter's face turn earlier instead of going back with Britt. AEW has a habit of doing that, where they'll swerve people into thinking someone's turning face, and then they'll just go back to heel again, like Daniel Garcia. But yeah, I think that Jamie could win this one, honestly. But because it's an interim title, I would predict that Toni Storm will win. It really depends on how soon Thunder Rosa's coming back, because I think that's the match they want, is Thunder Rosa versus Toni Storm. But Toni Storm would have won anyway, so the interim stuff is a bit silly in wrestling, but it is what it is. I would like to see Jamie win, but I think Toni's got this one. Next up for the ROH World Championship Fatal 4-Way match, it is Chris Jericho defending against Bryan Danielson, Claudio Castagnoli, and Sammy Guevara. Now in this one, anyone could win really, because we've got Final Battle around the corner, but I do think they'll probably want Chris Jericho as a big name to main event that show. Against who though? Who's to say really at the moment? Possibly Bryan Danielson, but again, we've seen that match quite a few times already. Maybe even Daniel Garcia, who knows? But I do believe that Jericho will retain here. I don't think they'll be hotshotting the title just yet, just because I feel like they're keeping it on Jericho just to have a big name be the ROH champion. And unless it's the main event of Final Battle, I don't think the title's changing hands. I do think the title will change hands in December, but again, we'll have to wait and see who Jericho's opponent is, but predicting him to win this one. The Elite is back and they are challenging for the AEW World Trios Championships. Yes, that's right, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, they're finally back from suspension, taking on the Death Triangle, Pac, Penta, and Rey Fenix. I really hope the Death Triangle win, but I do predict that the Elite will win. It just seems like ever since they were taken off TV, they were just waiting to put those titles back on them, and I understand, but at the same time, they probably want to continue the plans they had in place with the Elite as the champions. But man, I feel like Death Triangle should be retaining here, and maybe set something up where Omega and the Bucks really have to climb their way back up the ranks, really. Kind of a redemption arc after all the controversy of what happened with CM Punk and Brawl Out. But yeah, I would like Death Triangle to win, but I'm predicting the Elite. But it will still be good to see Kenny Omega and the Bucks back. I think they've been missed from AEW TV, and it's just it's a shame what the situation's turned into. Hopefully they can turn it into an angle, and maybe even the House of Black will come back. Ooh, that would be good. And of course, the main event for the AEW World title, it's MJF's Casino Ladder Poker Chip cash-in. It is Jon Moxley defending against MJF. Now, MJF teasing, turning face. There's all sorts of convoluted stuff going on in this storyline. I actually quite like it from the stuff I've read and the kind of clips I've watched. I've not really been keeping up with AEW as much as I would have liked to, but I do think this main event feud is pretty interesting. The promos between MJF and William Regal in particular have had me hooked. I think that obviously Regal's involvement has elevated this quite a bit, and I really enjoyed their All Out match like a couple of years ago, and with a new dimension to MJF and Moxley really, I think that this will be a very solid main event matchup. I think that MJF has to win this one, but because it's so obvious, will it happen? Maybe. AEW likes to do predictable things, but they do make sense, so it's okay. So I do think MJF will win this one. The question really, and the thing that really makes this interesting is, will the firm get involved? Are they actually on MJF's side? Are they on Moxley's side maybe? Is William Regal going to turn his back on Moxley and join MJF? That's a prediction that I may have in the back of my mind, but I don't know if you want to take William Regal off of the Blackpool Combat Club just yet. It feels like they need him as a figurehead, and MJF doesn't really need anybody, in my opinion at least, at this moment in time, but it could be an interesting dynamic to have the Devil and the Devil's manager, William Regal. I think that could be a very interesting storyline, and there's a lot of stuff on this card that could have a lot of promise heading into AEW in 2023. Obviously, the UK show that's just been announced, and I really want to go to that. Doesn't matter if the product sucks, I still want to see the wrestlers. They're, they make it really. So yeah, like a lot of cool stuff on paper on this card. Will they deliver? We'll have to wait and see. All Out was very long, probably too long, and they haven't really hit it out of the park when it comes to AEW pay-per-views this year. However, this one got a lot of cool stuff on it, so I'll definitely be intrigued to see how it plays out. But how do you think it will play out? Let me know in the comments below by leaving your predictions down in those comments, and make sure to like the video and subscribe to NLW Figs for more wrestling figure content like this. That's it from me. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.